Hey everyone, what's going on? Did it come over? This is my first time doing this, so hold on. I think it's on a bit of a lag. Hey everyone. Okay, so it's lagging. What's going on? Slightly. Did it come over? This is my first time doing this, so hold on. I think it's on a bit of a lag. Hey everyone. Okay, so it's lag. Okay, so hey everyone. If you don't already know, my name is Viggo Bauman. I am from Manhattan, and I'm here today just to tell you how to start your own vending business. What's up, guys? Can you see me? It's on a bit of a lag. I have it juiced up so that the picture is really good. What's up, guys? What's up, Rocco, Cody, Nick? You guys there? What's going on? All right, so a little bit about me. I'm from New York. I actually started my own business when I was 10 years old. It was a dog walking business. And hold on, this is messing with me. Okay, this is a little better. All right. So I started my own business when I was 10 years old. It was a dog walking business. Someone in the building actually asked us to dog sit, and we did. Someone else in the building asked if I could walk their dog. I did. That ballooned into multiple clients. By the time I was 11, I had my own business card, and by the time I was 14 years old, I actually was making around $700 a week cash. Obviously untaxed. I'm only 14 years old. Suffice to say, I always had the best bike. My dates always went to Broadway shows and five-star restaurants with me. Let's see, who's in the chat? Thanks. Yeah, I've been growing it out. It's cool. A little bit delayed, right? Maybe we'll figure that out for tomorrow. I don't want to stop the stream right now. But otherwise, is it okay? Can you guys let me know if it's okay? Does it look good? What's up, Cody from New York? Okay, so let's get started. After high school, I played sports, so I kind of ended the dog walking business. Then I went into the Navy. That was probably my lowest point financially. I made almost nothing when I was in the Navy, since I was one of the lowest ranks. It was just enough for gas, food, and like going to clubs, taking girls out to dinners, not five-star restaurants anymore. I did have my own. I did have a CD, certificates of deposit, from leftover money from my dog walking business, but that's about it. When I went to college, is when I started investing heavily in the stock market. So like blue chips like Citigroup, AT&T, Starbucks. One of the biggest, probably the first big financial, hold on, what is this? Yeah, thanks, Rocco. So probably the first financial boon for me was when I shorted Imclone stock. If you guys aren't familiar, that is Martha Stewart. That's connected to Martha Stewart. That's why she went to federal prison. She had gotten insider information about the company, about the company's earnings, and she shorted the stock. No, did she short, or she shorted, or she bought? It doesn't matter what she did. She got inside information. As soon as that scandal came out, I shorted the stock. It was around $64 when I shorted it, and then I got out of my my position at 48, and then I bought long again. So you can imagine the amount of money I made. It was pretty good money. After that, after school, I started playing poker heavily, which you guys probably know a little bit about. Do I wish I started? Probably no. Am I going to stop now? Probably no, because I got good at it. while I was playing poker, I'd say about 70% of it was online and 30% was live. So I was playing like on full tilt, mostly, not Poker Stars, um, during the week and even the weekend. And then sometimes I would take trips to Foxwoods and Atlantic City, and sometimes like far upstate New York. Um, After that, because of the volatility with playing poker, I started reading. I was already reading the Wall Street Journal finance sections and the New York Times finance sections, but trading stocks is also risky. So I wanted to find something that was concrete, that gave me income all the time. So I started reading books. Let me show you what I was reading. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, so this is one of the first books I picked up, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It can be a slow read at times, but there's some good nuggets of advice. In there, it talks a lot about creating passive income streams aside from your job. It does tell you to keep on working, because you just want to keep on working to make sure that you are bringing in that income as well. But it talks about making sure, or trying to make the passive income you receive more than what you make at your job. So your job should be a smaller percentage. All right, that gets me in frame a little better. The next book I read, well, might not have been in order, was The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, this really started talking about passive income, and you could find these books in the description of the video. This really started talking about passive income, but it didn't really tell you how to go about that. So I started looking up like the easiest way to start up passive income streams, and I came upon Vending. And I literally, hold on, guys. You guys know I'm new at this, so give me a second here. And I literally just started. I went on Amazon and I looked for machines, and I started at my dry cleaner. So you guys are wondering about money. So you guys wondering about money probably. So the easiest way to start out is by literally selling gumballs. Literally, this is my first thing I did. I sold gumballs. So this box of gumballs probably cost between $19 and $23 in Sam's Club. It's a little more on Amazon or eBay if you cannot get to a bulk store near you. So there are 850 gumballs in a box, and it comes out to $212.50 in profit. Now, you're obviously not going to sell the whole box because some are going to go bad, but you will sell a majority of them. And yeah, so sorry guys, this is my first time doing this. What did I want to talk about next? I have some notes. Okay, so the those machines. So where do you buy those? You buy those on Amazon to start out with. You buy them on eBay to start out with. I have a couple links that you could start. Yes, you should start with smaller machines. Start with smaller machines because you have to learn this business, and some people will not be able to run this business well. So start with candy machines. Don't start with soda machines. Don't start with ATMs. Okay, so let's see. So this is what a gumball machine is going to look like. And you could go to the link in the description, and you can see like a Proline gumball and candy machine. Now, this is kind of expensive, guys, so you know. Let me just go where, okay, this is where the chat is. This is kind of expensive. This is what, $250 with shipping. Now, if you guys wanted to jump in, then you know what, get on Amazon and buy one of these machines for $250. If you want to wait a little, if you don't have the money right now and you need to save up for a machine like this, forget about Amazon. go to Craigslist. I don't know if you guys have Craigslist in, let's see what's going on with this camera, in other countries, but if you're in the US, go to Craigslist. Great resource. There will always be someone selling these machines. Not necessarily these types. There's also triple head machines, which has, like, you could sell candy, 2 types of candy, like Mike and Ike's, Skittles, and gumballs. This is another type right here, also in the description. This is more around the style I started up with. So, what was I saying? Okay, so I was talking about where to buy them. So go to Craigslist if you have some time, if you can wait just a little bit. But if you want to get right into it, just get one machine. Place that machine. So where are you going to place those machines? You're going to place those at dry cleaners. You're going to place those at diners. You're going to place those at auto lube places. You're not going to be really able to place a candy machine at school. Plus, it will get all kinds of screwed up. What are you guys saying right now? If you have the capital, okay, so if you have the capital for both, still start small. So there's a lot of people I know that have gotten into vending, and they'll buy a bunch of machines. Like, they'll buy like 5 soda machines, and they'll buy, like 20 bulk vending machines. Bulk vending machine are the candy machines you guys see in these on these Amazon pages. Let me just switch over real quick. Okay, I'm back over here. So the bulk vending machines are the machines you see on these Amazon pages, and obviously soda machines are soda machines. But so people will buy all these machines up, and they'll put them in their garage, or they'll put them in storage. And guess what? They're not making any money, and they're out like, well, let's say they bought 5 soda machines, and they bought 20 candy machines. So let's say they got a deal on the candy machines. If you buy them new, but that's like what, $4,000 or $5,000. Let's say you bought 5 soda machines new. That's around $13,000 to $15,000. So they spend between like what, $17,000 and $22,000, and it's in their garage. It's in storage. I don't care how much money you have. Start with 2 machines. So that's what I started. That's literally what I started with. I bought 2 machines. I placed one in a dry cleaner, and I placed one in a diner. Now the dry cleaner machine is still there. The original machine is still there. I have changed out a bunch of parts. That was in 2010. So I did change out a bunch of parts on the dry cleaning machine. That diner location did not turn out well. I made I think something ridiculous, like $225 a month. But the dry cleaner machine did do well. It made around $20 to $21 a month. Now that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but the thing is, you have multiple machines, and we're going to get into numbers tomorrow. A lot of the numbers. I just wanted broad strokes today, and just kind of get the kinks out of the stream since I've never done this, and I had to do a lot of research just to set this up. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got it going. Let's see. Facebook Marketplace could be good. I've never bought anything on Facebook. So how much? So we're going to get into numbers and stuff, but I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of the numbers when I talk about how to get locations. But I just want to really reiterate the fact that you should start with 2 machines and start with candy machines. And once you get a hang of that, once you've done a couple fills, maybe let's say 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and you're doing well, and you could talk to people. Like I said, we're going to talk about how to get the locations, so don't worry. Buy a couple more machines, but maybe buy 2 or 3 machines, maybe buy 5 machines this time if you're comfortable. And then place those in dry cleaners. Dry cleaners are the best place. I know I keep on saying that. Dry cleaners, laundromats, they just tend to say yes. Chinese restaurants as well, though sometimes they can give you a little static. I've only run into problems with Chinese restaurants probably around 5% of the time. Chinese restaurants do really well. Pizza places could do really well depending on the owner, depending if they're trying to squeeze you. Sometimes, for example, sometimes they'll put your machine outside and it will get completely screwed up. They'll be like, oh, it's better for the kids because, they walk home from school, but it'll get abused and it'll get rained on and it'll get rusted. So, all right, so let's talk about, so Craigslist, and let's talk about finding locations. I know you guys are all interested in finding locations. what I did, my first location was literally a block away from where I lived. I was living in upstate New York at the time, and I walked in. They actually already had a vending machine. Now that could be a really good sign for you when they already have a vending machine in their establishment. The problem with this one was it hadn't been serviced in a long time. So like the levels were like, say like this is the machine, the levels were like all the way down here. There was like 2 bouncy balls and like some rotten Skittles. So I went in there, asked them if I could put a machine in there. Told them I lived down the block. I mean, that always helps, tell them you're local, things like that. And let them then you start to negotiate about what you're going to give them a month. Now, I would say tell them 15%, and if they kind of scoff at that, just go straight up to 25%. Don't go to 20 because then they'll want you to go to 30. Just go straight to 25%. Say I'll give you 25% of the revenue each month, and you go in there, you place it. Really try to place it wherever they want you to, but try to go in like that first placement. And just walk to, around where the counter is. That's probably the best place because, like, where people are exchanging money, you want the machine there because you want their change to go into the machine. And you want the kid that's nagging his mother or his father to ask for a quarter and just throw the quarter in the machine. They're crying about it, whatever. If they won't let you put it near the counter, try to put it near the door. And try to keep it out of the sunlight. So let's say like there's like this big bay window. Try to keep it out of the sunlight because the candy's going to rot more when it's in the sun. So, pretty good. Let me ask some questions. Have I tried exotic vending machines? No. Do you need a license? So I'm not going to talk about licensing because this really varies on where you are. I've never gotten a license to vend. The New York, New Jersey area isn't that strict on vending. They have bigger fish to fry. I do have a business name and I do pay taxes, but licensing, it depends. You have to really gauge that. Call your town hall. Maybe try to ask around on Facebook, see if anyone has a vending business. So I would start with 2 machines, and then what if you don't want to start? What if you don't want to place your first 2 machines? Like, what if you're nervous about that? So again, go to Craigslist. There are some sites that allow you to buy small vending businesses, but I wouldn't go to those because they tend to charge more. You want to negotiate with the actual seller. So go to Craigslist. A lot of people are trying to unload these, and usually they're trying to unload them, one, because they're moving, because they got another job somewhere, they're retiring, they're moving somewhere, or 3, they just neglected the machines for so long, so they're not doing so well. So you have to figure out whether it's the first and second one. You don't want it to be the third one, because if you buy the business with these machines in place, then you are not going to make any money because they're going to be neglected, and they might have even talked the owner into like giving them 30 or 40% of whatever the actual cost of the business is back to the owner, just to let them keep the machine there while they sell it. And then as soon as you come in, they'll just kick you right out of the spot. What is the rule for MySpace? So Nick, like I said, I don't know where you live. Where do you live in New York? Like I said, I just put them in place. I know that some towns and some counties have like tax stickers you have to put on the machine, but in New York State, you're really not going to see that. The machines are not hard or expensive to work on, checks, really at all. They're just like, when I get back from my hike, I am going to show you guys an actual machine and take it apart for you. It is not expensive to work on. Or hard to work on at all. It's like a semblance of parts. It's like, let's say, that's a bad example. Like this GoPro casing. So you literally might just like take off the cover. take off the cover, slide a part out, replace the part, go back to it. The biggest thing you have to do on the candy machines is tighten the screws. That's literally it. And then some springs might corrode, and you might have to replace those. But you'll know, and they'll tell you when you come in. They'll be like, "Oh, this isn't working. We had to give out so and so much quarters this month," and you just give them the amount of money back, and they're usually really honest. And if you find you're not working with honest business owners, just leave. Or you're gonna say, yeah, I was just about to say you have to keep them really clean. So just go, like a couple paper towels, something, some warm water usually works. Try not to get the metal parts inside wet. And so also, this is a mistake I made when I bought my first candy machines. They have like this gummy substance in the on the metal parts that spin. And I thought, since I don't know what I thought. I think one of them was used, so I rubbed all that off. That's actually just grease. Leave the grease on. It's not going to affect the candy that's coming out of the machine because it doesn't touch the chute where the candy comes down. Over a year of having one machine, realistic, how much do you make on that one machine? So again, I'm not going to talk numbers until tomorrow, so I have to figure a couple more things out, just about what this whole series is going to be about. Today is more of an introduction, and this is my first time doing this. I will get to your question really quick, Rocco, but can you guys tell me how this looks? How does this look? Does this look good? This was kind of hard for me it wasn't hard to set up, but it took a while. Does it look okay? Does it look okay? Okay, so tell me that later. Over here, how much can you make on one candy machine in a year? So realistically, you're going to be making between let's talk profit, between $160 and $280 a year. So the plastic machines are okay. So the plastic machines. Okay, so there's a machine called 800 Vending, and it is actually looks good. It's good. It's great. Okay, cool. You want the body of the machine always to be metal. The other parts could be plastic. Not the spin parts are generally always plastic. The ones where the gumballs and the Skittles and things like that come out. Oh, it's shaking a little bit. Okay, I'm kind of leaning on something, so I could probably fix that. You need how much? You need 50,000 machines to be a millionaire. You don't need 50,000 machines to be a millionaire. The thing is, you're not gonna. I still have candy machines right now, but you're gonna transition out of candy machines pretty quickly if you're good at this business. And you'll move to soda machines and eventually ATM machines. That's a little advanced. I will get into ATM machines, maybe not during this series. So let's talk about. Give me a second. I will be a little better prepared tomorrow. I was literally working on just getting this up and running for you guys. Okay, so let's talk about where you're going to get your products. Well, you know what? Let's go to soda machines. And then someone please remind me. Then someone please remind me about the soda business. And so so let's talk about the stream really quick. I hope I'm not jumping all over the place. If you go to the actual below where you see the picture, you'll see the About section, and you will see a bunch of stuff. There is a donate button. I'm not asking you to donate right now, but it is something I set up with this site. So I think if you donate, it actually generates like a computer generated voice with your question. So if someone wants to try that, that's really cool. And then, of course, I don't know if you guys have watched streams before, but then there's Super Chat. Now you could donate, I think, any amount from $1 up, and then I'll see those better. So if you really want your question answered, just do a Super Chat, because when I'm talking, I might miss a few questions here and there. But I don't necessarily expect you to donate to get your voice generated or to do a Super Chat. I just want to let you know, like, if I didn't answer your question, that's the best way. I will definitely answer your question if you do either of those. So what was I talking about? So I was going to get into, what was I going to get into, guys? Soda machines? You understand? Oh, okay. So so a lot of people on my big video with 300,000 views, with my vending machine, you see me going to Target. Now, I have an actual system. Again, I'm going to get into numbers tomorrow to show you exactly why it's advantageous to go to one store or another. Sam's Club, I don't have a Costco. I never had a Costco near me, but Sam's Club and Costco, I think, are around the same prices. And Sam's Club, what's up, Kim? Sam's Club is more expensive than Target, than Stop and Shop, than ShopRite, than Hannaford. So what I do when I need to fill a machine is I go online and I will literally look, and I will show you guys what I'm talking about right now. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about right now. So this is the ShopRite site, okay, and I'm going to go to Weekly Circular, and we should see, let's see, I didn't really, okay, there's no soda for sale this week at ShopRite, so I'm going to go to Stop and Shop. We're going to bring that up. We're going to go to Weekly Circular. And like I said, I'm going to get into numbers tomorrow, so that you guys can see that. Let's see here. Let's see. There's a circular for Stop and Shop. Where is the soda? Okay, so here you go. Is that those are the little cans. All right. Let's try one more Target. I didn't set this up, but this is what I was gonna do tomorrow, but you guys wanna do sourcing for soda. So let's see really quick if we could find a soda sale at Target. Anyway, you know what? I don't even have to do this. You guys know what I'm talking about. I would go through these stores and then I would see what is going on sales-wise, and then I'd pick the best sale. Okay, so here you go. So Target. So 4 for $12, Coca-Cola products, 12 packs, right here. Right here. See the details. All right, so this is all Coke products. Coke, Fanta, Seagram ginger ale, all are included, even if it doesn't say that. Now, really quickly, Sam's Club would be around a little more than $12 for 32 or 36 cans. So if you could see right there, you could just do the quick math. This is a lot cheaper. And Target would actually let you buy as many carts as you want. Sometimes I have to take a couple trips into the store, but it's worth it for all the savings you're going to get going to Target or Hannaford or Stop and Shop or Price Chopper or ShopRite, whatever is actually in your area. Let's see. Actually, so again, so I mean, I'm not trying to sell you out here, Herman. Going to Coca-Cola is actually more expensive than these Target sales and these ShopRite sales and these Hannaford sales. I have bought directly from Coke when I was big, I thought that might actually help me out. But Coke charges a lot more. I don't want to get into numbers today. I promise I will get into numbers tomorrow. But Coke actually charges more than these places. They are trying to make money too. Those supermarket sales, those big supermarkets near you, even Walmart. The thing is with 24 cans. Yeah, that's not bad. So that's the same as the Target sale, Dan. 24 cans for $5.99. Because it was 4 for 12. Four 12 packs for $12. Anyway, even Walmart. The thing with Walmart is you never know exactly what they have for sale. So it's hard. It's hard to, you have to go there, and it's like a waste of time. Sometimes Walmart could be even cheaper than the rest of these, though. Let's get off the numbers. I think I talked enough about sourcing. Oh, so candy, you're going to want to go to Sam's Club or Costco. I don't know if Costco actually has these gumballs. I know Sam's Club always has these gumballs. And if you saw one of my videos, the last vending video I did with Luke, they didn't have the Skittles. They didn't have like the big bags of Skittles. So that sucked. But they will always have double bubbles, and they usually have Mike and Ike's and Skittles. So that's what I usually do. They last the longest in the candy machines. I've tried M&Ms, like chocolate M&Ms before, and the price isn't that bad. Like, it's not that bad. They might be a little more than Mike and Ike's and Skittles, but look, people like M&Ms, so you want to put them in. The thing is, when you're putting them in a restaurant, when you're putting them in a dry cleaner, they're going to melt because there's so much heat, especially in the dry cleaner. But you know what? All the Chinese restaurants I have are usually pretty hot too. The doors are always closed, especially in winter. And it's just like this like furnace, and the candy melts, and then your machine is like screwed, and you're in the back of the Chinese restaurant while they're, you know, like cooking stir fry, and you're scrubbing your machine. Luckily, the restaurants where my candy melted, they let me in the back to do my machines. And I only had like a bad experience with one Chinese restaurant, and that was only because they wanted more money, and I was like, this is what I can give you, otherwise I'm going to be losing money. And then I just decided to take the machine out. Can you import fake candy from China? I'm sure you could, Herman, but you might have some complaints about that. How do I change all the quarters in $1? So Alexis, usually I would just go to my bank. So I have a credit union I go to, and they have a coin machine where you just put your coins in piles of coins. I mean, literally, like, I would sometimes go with, I think the most I went with was around almost $2,000 in nickels, dimes, and quarters, and just throw them into the machine. Now, I realize a lot of banks today are getting out of having coin machines. I know that TD Bank, I know some TD banks have definitely gotten rid of their coin machines, and I know some still have them, I believe. And I know other banks have just completely gotten rid of them just because they've caused problems, and there's always someone in there kind of crowding up the bank. Or at least that's what I suspect. That's why they're getting rid of them. Little small credit unions will usually have coin changers for their customers. Never go to Coinstar, 1. 2, never pay a percentage. Like, I opened an account last year at this bank because they had kept on sending me letters and etc. And they were going to give me, like, I think $150 or $200 just to open up a checking account. And I think there was like no strings really. I just had to have the account for like 6 months and have like, you know, like $500 in it or something like that. You know, $150 free for a $500 investment that I'm definitely getting back. Go with those deals. I wouldn't waste my time if it was any lower than that necessarily, unless you just really have some time. Anyway, this bank, I had a bunch of coins lying around, so I knew they had a coin machine. So I went in there with, $800 worth of coins, and their eyes like came out of their head, and they were like, I was like, I know you have a coin machine, so I'm just gonna deposit these coins. And I was like, so by the way, because this bank was actually a little closer than the credit union I use. I was like, by the way, I have a lot of coins. And they're like, what do you mean a lot of coins? I was like, I have a lot of coins at home, like thousands of dollars worth of coins. And they said, just so you know, you cannot, what does it say? Just so you know, you cannot, you can deposit as many coins as you want, but they charge a 5% fee. This is like a bank account I have, like a good amount of money in the account, and they would literally charge me 5% for any coin deposit after the first coin deposit of that account live. And this wasn't per year, this wasn't, you know, per quarter. This was any deposit after your first coin deposit, they charge 5%. Like really, really getting into a smaller side on coin machines, and I've never done this, but I know people that have, and I always kind of kick myself in, you know, the ass when I see a Coinstar machine and I don't look in it. So if you want to find silver, I know you guys saw my finding silver video, going to the bank and asking for $50, or just like buying rolls of $50 and rolls of quarters and rolls of dimes. I don't know if I talked about that as much. That can be, that's a little less return. You're not really going to find things in there. You want the loose stuff to find silver. Anyway, if you go to the bottom of the Coinstar machine, I believe it's on the bottom, it's the rejects. And no one checks the rejects, supposedly. Again, I've never done this. So check the rejects box of the Coinstar machine, and supposedly people are still finding a lot of silver in the Coinstar machines. So that's that. I'll answer some questions, and then I'll get into some other stuff. What about this? Let's see. So ask some questions, guys, and I will get into, let's see, let me go up here. Let's see. So just, let's see. The question time right now will be like kind of a break for me. Okay, I guess I will get into, how about the single bills? Oh, okay, so single bills, Alexis, just go to the, so keep on questions coming, but single bills, just go to your bank, or I would just literally spend them. I've bought big ticket items for hundreds of dollars in ones, just because I had them, because I just had like bundles of ones in my closet, and I kind of need to get rid of them. And yeah, I bought textbooks. I bought college textbooks, like biology books once, like $471 worth of biology books at the college textbook store in ones. So dental work should be complete for now, like all done. Thankfully, it took me a long time to recover from, and I think I'm all done for now. I did have some discomfort a few days ago, but hopefully it just goes away. I wanted to do this for you guys before I went away. What was my biggest pickup? So the most I picked up out of a soda machine, because it doesn't fit that many bills. Like, so at one point, like, it expands too much, you know? So, like, literally, I've had machines, like, I've had to go service them, not necessarily because I had to put soda in them, but because the bill expander was just, like, no more bills, and it was only accepting change. So I think not as much as you guys would think. So around, like, $450. So that was, like, probably $300. No, not $300. That was, like, $250, $260 in bills, and around a little under $200 in change. That was my biggest pickup. My biggest pickup for a day, again, I'm going to get into numbers again tomorrow, but my biggest pickup in a day was $6,500. Remember, that's not all profit. Okay. Thieves and scammers. Okay, so I've only actually had... When will I vlog? Okay, that's it. When will I vlog poker again? I'm probably, my next poker vlog will be back from when I'm on the trail. I hope you guys watch when I'm on the trail. I think I'm gonna produce some cool stuff. Thieves and scammers. What was your matches? What was your message. Okay, anyway. What about thieves and scammers? I've only actually had one machine that was quote unquote broken into. It wasn't. They didn't get the money. They didn't get the soda. They did use like a crowbar. I don't think they used a blowtorch, but like the whole front. So like the whole front of the machine was like sheared away. This was probably my most ghetto location. If you look up Middletown, New York, that's where it was. It was like down this like small road right in front of an auto store. So it was actually outside, but it did have a really good lock on it, and it did have like a good security door, good security features. So they sheared off the front. And also, so this wasn't necessarily a theft. One of my candy machines was in a pizza place that closed down. I went to the police, and I think this was years ago. I like pseudo filed a report about it, but then I just kind of gave up. I was doing a lot of other stuff like school and things like that. And the machine itself, like I had made the money on the machine like 4 or 5 times over already, so I didn't sweat it that much. So the shearing off of the front of a soda machine and the loss of only one candy machine. Coffee machines. So coffee machines. Okay, so like let's talk about coffee machines really quick. I have some other stuff I want to talk about, but I kind of wanted. This is like my break time, just to like clear my head. Coffee machines, sandwich machines, things like that. Those can be really profitable, but the thing you got to realize, guys, is that those take a lot of maintenance. They take, so with a coffee machine, I think you have to be there like every 2 or 3 days to clean it, to fill the grinds, especially if it's a big business. And things like sandwiches, like fresh deli meats and things like that, and yogurts, those type of vending machines, you're going to be going back every 3 to 5 days to fill them up, and that's just like so much work. Whereas candy machines, I literally forget. Like I'm like, oops, do I have a candy machine? Like I literally forget that I even own candy machines sometimes. And then like when I'm like out of cash, I might like go on a candy machine trip and like bring home like $800 or $900 and change. I usually get somewhere between $50 and $80 out of each candy machine when I go, and I'm not gonna like sit here and tell you that's a month. That's anywhere between like 3 months and like seven months of time for those candy machines. Do I buy? All right. There was a couple other questions I wanted to do. Oh, so like I said, the sandwich machines and things like you have to put the machines you have to put yogurt in and things like that. I wouldn't go that route unless you just wanted this to be your end all business, and that's completely fine. You're going to make money with the sandwiches and the yogurts and things like that, but you're going to have to source all that, and you're going to have to stay on top of it. Otherwise, there could be health concerns from products that have gone bad. If someone eats your product and they get sick and they go to the hospital, you're liable for that. So you really have to be careful with that. I would stick with the candy and soda machines, and then eventually ATM machines. People in college used to use a long stick to knock candy bars out. So you're probably right, and I've never actually had like a machine that has like Snickers bars and peanuts and what are those called, Doritos and gum like that. I've never actually had one of those machines. I did have a machine, a couple candy machines. The ones you're talking about with like the glass front. I did have a couple old style candy machines. I'll try to get a picture of those for you tomorrow. There was that someone's where you it's like kind of like a cigarette machine, but even older. Like you just put quarters into a slot, like you would one of those cigarette machines, or the I think the old soda machines. No, anyway, so you push the slot in. Oh, so like the laundromat. So you put quarters in a slot, push it in. And then there's like knobs, and then like there's like Snickers bars, and Baby Ruths and things like that. There was a couple. It was so soda machines generally, Alexis, soda machines generally fill up with money before the soda runs out, but you have to go back before that anyway, because certain things will be a lot more certain drinks will be a lot more popular. For example, the cemetery that you see me driving through in my most famous video, they loved Sprite Zero. Like these people drink Sprite Zero. Like I don't. I've had Sprite Zero. I think like 4 times. I mean, it's okay. I drink it if like it was the only thing on earth, but I kind of don't like it. Anyway, they drink a lot of Sprite Zero. They drink like hundreds of cans of Sprite Zero every 6 to 8 weeks. So that would run out first. That would run out before Coke. That would run out before Fanta Orange. That would run out before grape soda. That would run out before even iced tea, which is usually the most popular drink in the summer. So I have 1 soda machine left, and I have 6 candy machines left. The 1 soda machine I had left was far away from all the other routes, like all the other machines I have. So I could have sold it. Like I could probably still sell it to one of the guys that bought my machines, but it's kind of nice to have. I like generally, like that's the thing about this, guys. Like the number one thing, like this is the number one thing. Like I cannot tell you guys enough. This is honestly, hold on. Like I just have to highlight this for you guys. The number one thing I can tell you is that you will never be broke if you have vending machines. That is why, if you're interested, you should go. Like this, you will literally never go broke. Like it's literally impossible to go broke with your vending machines. And that really helps me out in the beginning when I own vending machines, because I might run out of money, I might go bust because of poker. My girlfriend might have lost her job. We might have needed like new tires for one of our cars. We needed food for one of the 4 legs. We needed like money for like a vet visit, and you will never go broke. Like, guess what? If you're out of money, just go to one of your candy machines, go to one of your soda machines, and even if it's only been a little bit of time, there's always going to be money in that. You could go and collect money from your machines, get robbed, spend all the money on drugs, or I'm kidding, guys, on food, or help your parents out with something, and literally go back the next day, and there will still be money in there. Now, there won't be a lot of money in that machine, but there will be money in it the very next day. When all is said and done, I might open I'm going to go back to school after, not directly after the trail, but sometime probably next September, and I probably will set up a vending business again, just so I have some money coming in. It's just like a no-brainer, especially if you have experience with it, and you could do it pretty easily. Let's see. All right, so let's get into soda machines. So I didn't just go and buy a soda machine. I'm just trying to look where. I wish this was like not on lag, so I could ask which looks better with my eyes. Anyway, so I did not just go and buy a soda machine. When I first started into the soda business, I went on Craigslist and I looked. Luke is shaking. I went on Craigslist. That's the plan, Herman. Medical school. I went on Craigslist and I looked for soda routes. Now, some are going to be really expensive. A lot of the ones I saw when I first went on Craigslist were like for pretty big amounts, like $75,000. $50,000. Now, granted, like these are people that don't know how to price their business well. I'm not saying that some soda businesses aren't worth $75,000. I'm saying that some people want to get more than what they're worth. So I eventually bought a 4-machine route for $2,400. That was amazing. Like this guy needed money. I didn't. So I think the original price was $2,500, and I got $100 off. Honestly, if I had bought this this route for $10,000, it would have been more than worth it. So it was a 4-machine route. 2 of the machines didn't do so well, and 2 of the machines were doing really well. So it was more than worth it. $2,400 is like nothing, especially if you own 4 soda machines because of that $2,400. Hey, stop. Hey, Luke, stop scratching. Please. Hey, no, stop scratching. Thank you. If you could hear Luke, I don't know if you could hear Luke back there. So my first order was 4 machines. Like I said, two were good, 2 weren't good. I ended up taking those machines out of that place and putting them somewhere else. So I guess naturally the next best thing to talk about is Craigslist. So we're gonna get ask some questions, especially like once this video ends. Like ask some more pointed questions, and I'll get into I'll really delve into stuff tomorrow. But let's talk about locations really quickly. Yeah, how did you find the route? So I found the route on Craigslist, like I said. But as far as finding locations on your own, I would just when you're going to fill up your machines, whether they be candy, whether they be soda, I would literally just look around that area, because you're going to be there every few weeks anyway, so you're going to get to know the area really well, and you want to have machines that are close together so that you could efficiently fill and service them and deal with everything that the business entails. What's the matter? Come here. What's the matter? Hold on, guys. One second. Okay. Go. And deal with everything the business entails. One of the best accounts I got was in a. Luke is not going on the trail. I wish he was. He gets cold really easily since he doesn't have a lot of hair. So one of the best accounts I got was a bus depot. So it was like a private school bus depot, and they had 30 buses, but they had a lot of employees. And the cool thing about bus depots, so these are great accounts to get, guys. Great accounts, because the bus drivers and the I think they have assistants or attendants. They go there in the morning. And they hang out before all the buses go. So they're drinking soda then. They pick up the kids. They come back to the bus depot. A lot of them. Some of them go home, I think, but a lot of them come back and wait for the afternoon again. So they're all hanging out. Maybe they're sleeping in the buses or stuff like that. But they need drinks. So those are great accounts to have. You also want to go into businesses or the cemetery. Let's bring up the cemetery again. The cemetery wasn't necessarily in the middle of nowhere. The cemetery wasn't necessarily in the middle of nowhere, but it was 1.5 miles to 2 miles away from the nearest deli or the nearest Dunkin' Donuts. So people would just buy my soda. And there was a fridge that employees could put their drinks and their food in, but no one did that because people would just take the drinks out and drink them on their own. I guess they would steal drinks, so that's why the soda machine did really well there. So try to find a place like that. So how do you go about getting locations? We'll do soda. We'll do candy tomorrow. Candy's pretty easy. So literally drive up. The first thing I would say to them is, and even if this isn't true, I mean, you have to tell white lies once in a while. The first thing that I would say to them is, I have a soda machine in this auto collision place half a mile away, and I was driving by and I wanted to know, do you have a soda machine? Now, you're going to know the answer to that question usually because it's going to be somewhat visible. You're not going to walk in if they have a soda machine. Some people do, but it's just not worth your time. There's so many businesses that do not have machines that it's not worth it to try to push other vendors out, and it's kind of shitty. But I'm not even telling you not to try to push other vendors out because it's shitty. I'm trying to tell you there's better uses of your time. And so go and say, I see that I saw your business. I have a soda machine at the auto collision place down the road. I want to put a soda machine here. It's not going to cost you anything. Now, do not start out with offering the money, especially if it's like an employee place, like an auto collision place, or like the cemetery. So just go in and say, I want to put a machine here. They're going to say, like, how much is it going to cost us? And be like, nothing but electricity. And if it's an employee business, if it's a factory or something like that, or a bus depot, they're gonna like that they have that convenience for their employees, and they're not gonna charge you. They're not gonna want any profit sharing from you. So that's the best possible situation. Um, a couple times I have paid for electric. I think I looked it up, and the machines I was using were using like $6 worth of electric a month. It might have been less, but I was more than happy to pay $6 worth of electric. If these businesses have football pools or like NASCAR pools, some of the businesses I had NASCAR pools. Participate in that once in a while. Just the funny thing is I won a lot. I mean, I wasn't trying. I don't really know how to play the NASCAR pool, so I would just like check any box. And what happens when you check any box? Sometimes you do better than those people that are studying. Anyway, so participate in that stuff. Sometimes people would just like give me gift cards. Sometimes I don't know how to explain that, but I used to like win gift cards, and I would just give them my gift cards during Christmas time, and I would say like just raffle them off and just say they were from me, like because that just gets people feeling better about it, and they're gonna buy more soda from you. So the gumball machines, no, the gumball machines don't use electric. I've never had a problem with bugs. They're pretty closed. So if you could see, I'll bring that up right now. It's pretty closed. Let me bring this up for you guys. So the vending machines are pretty closed down. Why isn't this coming back? Okay, so you're not really going to have a problem with bugs, as you could see. So it's pretty sealed. So this is where the gum or the candy comes out right here. This is the mechanism, the turn mechanism. You put the quarter in right here. But this is closed. This is a metal base. It's closed down. This is like a plexiglass kind of material here, and the top is pretty sealed, pretty sealed, and that's the lock at the top. So you're not going to really have rodent problems, and that is actually why a couple of businesses asked me not to. A couple of businesses asked me not to put candy machines in that when I asked them about the candy machines, because they had rodent problems they knew about, and they didn't want to deal with candy spoilage and me coming back and like dealing with removing the rat crap and things like that, and cleaning up the rat piss or the mouse piss, what have you. So okay, so I went through the candy machines that you saw on Amazon. They're going to cost you between like $2 and $2.50 with shipping. When you go through a dealer, like I'll probably end after this, and then I'll come back tomorrow at 4. When you go through a dealer like 800 Vending, I think they sell like 10 triple head machines for $3,000. That is a lot of money. Do not ever pay $3,000 for 10 candy machines. And the great thing about, I mean, it is a great thing for you. What happens is they I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little lost here, a little tired. These people that buy these deals saw an infomercial, or they knew a friend, or they read an article about starting a vending business, and they bought 10 machines. They don't have any machines in place. So what happens? The company doesn't want to refund their $3,000, even if they send the machines back. So they put them for sale on Craigslist. So I got a lot of my soda machines, and and a lot of my candy machines on Craigslist from people that bought them and didn't know how to take the next step. They didn't know how to go and place them, or they might have known how, but they didn't have the balls, they didn't have the wherewithal to go to 40 or 50 different Chinese restaurants or cemeteries or bus depots or auto collision places or dry cleaners to actually place those machines. So they just gave up and they said, F it, and that's why so many people fail in the vending business. And that's why you see articles or YouTube videos saying that the vending business isn't worth it. These are people that failed. And I'm not necessarily putting them down, but people have to realize that it's a lot of work when you first start. Once you get rolling, it's really nice, but it's a lot of work to place the machines and to get the business rolling. But the thing is, once you get those first few machines placed, it gets a lot easier, and not because you've gotten better at it. Of course, it's gotten easier because you've gotten better at placing the machines, but because you see all those dollar bills and all those coins piling up in your apartment, in your house every month, or in your bank account, and that motivates you to go out and get more machines. I'll answer a few more questions, and then I will start again tomorrow at 4 for a longer stream, and we'll delve deeper into some things. And then on Thursday, I will just do a recap and answer any questions that weren't answered before. So let's see. I never put Vaseline around the base of a candy machine. If you do have ants problems, like in the county or state you live in, maybe that's a good idea. I've never heard of that. But that's it. I will wait a couple minutes in case you guys wanted to answer like 1 or 2 other questions. Let's see. Okay, so I'll just stop with that. I kind of got off on that tangent with Craigslist that my local drug dealer asked about how much candy machines cost. So $2 to $250 new on Amazon. If you do those deals, which I do not do those deals, but on Craigslist you're going to find much better deals. You're going to be able to haggle more, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. As far as soda machines go, you can pick up a used soda machine that works really well for around $1,300 to $1,500. New soda machine is going to cost you between $2,200 and $3,000. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I literally made this series because a lot of you were asking. Oh, and one more thing. I got a letter from Alex. He was in the chat earlier. I got a few emails too from you guys asking about a video, but thanks for the letter. Alex says, Viggo, I've watched your videos, main ones about your vending business. I've recently started a vending business. I have 2 Dixie Narco vending machines. I'm wondering, how did you find great locations? Also, how would you approach the location owner? Just a 101 basic and tips on the vending business. Please reply or make a YouTube reply. And this is one of the reasons I'm making a video. I did plan on making this for a long time anyway. I just couldn't really find like a quiet area, like with a good background to make the video in. But I thought that live streaming this and answering your questions live would be the best thing. So again, I will see you at 4 tomorrow. Feel free to email me at Viggo Bauman, VIGGOBAUMAN @gmail.com with any questions, or just leave them in the comment section of this video or any of the recent vending videos. The vending announcement video about the series yesterday, and I'll see those, I'll write them down, and I'll have some good answers for you guys. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. I'll see you then.